Alright guys, welcome back to Just a Fast. This is Jimmy here. Today we got our Iowa State, number 13 Iowa State at number 17 Texas preview prediction video. Longhorns play this Friday, have to represent right now. Perfect time to wear this hoodie, right? This is a huge game. This is probably the biggest game of Tom Herman's career up to this point. And he's had a lot of big games. You know, the Oklahoma State game a couple weeks ago was probably deemed his biggest game, up until this point. This game for Iowa State is going to be a tough one. The Big 12 race, obviously, it's at stake here. Whoever wins this game basically is in the Big 12 championship game as long as they keep taking care of their business. Iowa State sits at the top, 6-2, 6-1 record in the conference. OU 6-2, 5-2 in the conference. Texas is third, 5-2, 4-2 in conference. Then Oklahoma State 5-2 overall, 4-2 in the conference. So it's safe to say whoever wins this game gets in. I'm not sure what Iowa State plays after they play us, but Texas plays at Kansas State and at Kansas. We would have to play both of those games and win, obviously, to meet up with Oklahoma again. Oklahoma, in their worst year, they're going to make it back to the Big 12 championship game, but that's a different story for another day. Biggest game in Tom Herman's career. Let's start off with this. The rest versus rust factor, because we were supposed to play Kansas last week. Right now, it's been 20. It's going to be 20 days between games in the middle of the season. That's unprecedented. I don't want to say it's unprecedented because it's happening a lot this season, but that's not normal at all. Rest versus rust. I know a lot of our guys were hurt and nicked up a little bit. You know, we get guys healthy. Everyone's really pretty much back. We're finally about to get Jake Smith and Jordan Whittington on the field at the same time. That's a first. Keontae Ingram is the only guy I think that could be out, and he's questionable. So senior day, I think 16 guys are going to be recognized on Friday as seniors. Sam, this is more than likely his last game. I don't think he's coming back. He got the Senior Bowl invite. He's going to take that and run with it. Yeah, he's going to run with that. And then Cosme, Kerstetter, Josh Thompson, Chris Brown, all these guys. Wow. Man, I just got to thank the 2017 class, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Let's get into this Iowa State preview. The first question that we all have is, how does Texas stop Breece Hall? He's the leading rusher in America. Over 1,159 yards in only 8 games so far. 15 touchdowns, ridiculous. 100 yards or more in every single game, and at least a touchdown in every single game. And he's had 6 games with 2+ touchdowns, 2 or more touchdowns. That's crazy. He should be getting a little bit more Heisman consideration. I'm just going to say that. Our run defense has been good for the most part. It's always been really good under Tom Herman, and that's just one of our strong suits. As a team, again this season, we're 26th against the run this year, which is not bad. We're 15th in yards per carry allowed, 3.1. That's not bad, considering we've played some really good backs. Chuba Hubbard, Letty Brown. You can even say LD Brown as well for Oklahoma State. And then Oklahoma, they didn't have Ramondre Stevenson or whatever, but they're still a really, really good running team. And we have been pretty good this season against the run, so that's the biggest matchup of the day. I think we just got to load the box and force Brock Purdy to beat us. As simple as that. Like I said with Jared Dagey, like I said with Spencer Sanders, I'm saying the same things with Brock Purdy, even though he's better than both of those guys. We have to force Brock Purdy to beat us. I don't know if he can beat us. I would give him more of a chance to beat us than, the other quarterbacks I just mentioned, but he's not the greatest quarterback in the world. He's not the greatest quarterback we've seen, I think we can get to him and force him into some mistakes, I think Breece Hall will have a better game than Chuba Hubbard and Letty Brown did against us, just for the simple fact that their offensive line is pretty good, and not to mention their tight ends are really good at blocking too. We'll get to their tight ends in a second. We'll have problems with them, but we're gonna have problems with them receiving, but problems with them blocking as well. Iowa State has a really, really good offensive line. Brock Purdy's only been sacked 8 times this season. That's like 1 sack per game given up. That's really good. So these are Brock Purdy's main guys: Xavier Hutchinson, and then the 3 tight ends with Kolar, Allen, and Schoner. I believe that's how you say it. Those three guys combined for 89 catches, over 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Brock Purdy on the season has 151 completions, 1,700 yards, and 13 touchdowns on the season. So most of the production comes from those guys, the tight ends, and then Xavier Hutchinson on the outside. Brock Purdy, he's going to extend plays. He's going to get out against us. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to make some plays against us. He's better than Spencer Sanders. He's better than Jared Dagey. He's going to make some plays, and we just got to be able to live with that. As long as Breece Hall is not running ruckshot over all of our defense, I think that's going to be the big thing there. We have to force one or the other. Either Breece Hall does his thing and we shut down the tight ends and Hutchinson, or we find a way to slow down Breece Hall and we do a good enough job on the receivers and tight ends. So this is a huge game for DeMarvion Overshown, Juwan Mitchell, Chris Adamora playing that spur position in terms of run support, and then guarding the tight ends too. That's it's going to be key. It's going to be key that we do as good of a job on these tight ends as possible. We might even see some Stearns or B.J. Foster on one of these tight ends. Who knows? But for especially DeMarvion Overshown and Juwan Mitchell, huge games for those two guys. Can we come out and not be predictable offensively? Mike Yurcich, this is why we brought him in for. The offense doesn't look much different than last year, guys. And that's concerning because Mike Yurcich was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to, change the offense up a little bit, make us be more effective and explosive, consistent. Another question I have is, can we be really, really disciplined versus this Iowa State defense? They're going to bend but not break. They're not the greatest defense in the world. They're not shut down, but they're a very good defense. They have been for the past couple years or so, and Sam has struggled with teams that are going to let you grab all the stuff underneath but won't let you get the big play or won't let you get what you want. Example, TCU. What TCU does every single year. That's a big reason why we struggle. We cannot figure out their defense. And therefore, Sam's had some of his worst games against TCU. Last year against Iowa State, he was not that great. He wasn't that effective until the fourth quarter where we needed a comeback. And in that game, we started going more hurry up in the second half. We started just playing freely and loosely, and just it looked like we knew what we were doing in the second half, especially that fourth quarter. But we were all thinking what happened in the first half. We couldn't get anything going in the first half. We had no sense of urgency. We had no run game, none of this stuff. And I don't want it to have to come down to Sam just running on damn near every single play like he did against Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout this season to bring us back. Like, if it has to come down to that, I'm not liking our chances. Our receivers need to step it up. Sam needs to step it up. This is a game Sam cannot afford to throw 55% completion. He just can't. Their defense led by Mike Rose, who's leading the team in tackles with 63, leads the team in interceptions with 4 at the linebacker position, is really good. He was really good last year. He's going to cause problems. He's going to get his. He's going to be all over the field, making tackles left and right. He's just going to be everywhere, and we got to be aware of that. Jaquan Bailey is a force on the defensive line. So is Will McDonald, the fourth, I believe. Jaquan Bailey was second team Big 12 a couple years ago in 2018, and he's not even the leading sack guy. That's Will McDonald I just mentioned, 6.5 sacks. They'll give up a lot through the air, guys. So I think the way Texas has to beat this Iowa State defense is with screens, with dig routes. Go back to the screens. Our running backs are more than capable of catching screens, of catching passes. Keontae's a really good pass catcher. Bijan showed a little bit of that versus West Virginia, and Roshan's pretty solid. We need those underneath dig routes with Jake Smith and with Tariq Black and Whittington. We need those. And then we need the big-time plays up the field with Brandon Eagles and Joshua Moore. Those guys have to step it up and make plays. We can hit them with swing passes. We can hit them with jet sweeps, even though we don't really do jet sweeps like that. We can do a little bit of misdirection. We need to get this team, this defense on their heels a little bit, because we have to try to make them as undisciplined as possible. And we can't be methodical. I believe we can't be methodical. We have to push the tempo a little bit. We have to just keep them on their heels. Keep applying the pressure, because when Texas goes down in games, they come back because they're applying pressure. I mean, they have no choice to at that point, right? They're down. But when the game is like tied, or it's in the beginning of the game, or it's like a game where it's like, let's say 17-17, our guys aren't going to have that sense of urgency. Our guys aren't going to have that pressure that they're going to put on the defense. They just don't. And that's kind of disappointing. Last year, we only had 54 rushing yards. Like I said, I don't want this to have to come down to Sam Ehlinger. As much as I love Sam, senior day, as a senior, I don't think he can beat him. I don't think he can beat this defense by himself. He can't beat this team by himself. He couldn't beat Oklahoma by himself. He couldn't. He just can't beat these teams by himself. If the run game's not going, that's a huge concern. If the wide receivers aren't getting open, that is a concern. We have to win first and second downs. We have to. A big reason as to why our offense looks so sluggish early on in games is because, one, we're so passive on first and second down. We run up the middle on first down, get 1 yard, or get stopped at the line. If we're gonna run the ball, make sure our line are getting a good push on first down. First down, like, you can talk about third down all day long. It's the most important down, and it is by default, because if you don't get it, you get off the field unless you go for it. But first down indicates everything. Do you want to get 1 to 2 yards, or maybe even 0 yards, or negative yards on a running play on first down? Or do you want to catch the defense napping a little bit with some play action on first down, or some misdirection, or some motion, or jet sweep on first down? Get 6, 7, 8 yards, or maybe even grab another first down, right? To make it easier on your offense. So you're not playing catch up all the time with third down and 7 every single time. Last year, Texas was a really good third down team. Why? Because we had the security blanket, Devin Duvernay, catching the ball on every single third down. Because we would never get into 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. We would always be in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. So we have no choice but to throw the ball. Last thing here is, I want to see our wide receivers get past tight coverage, tight man-to-man coverage, press coverage, whatever. Can our guys do that? We're Texas, man. We have all the athletes possible. I know we have some guys that are like Brandon Eagles or Jared Wiley or Cade Brewer or whatever that can't really get separation like that because they're tall as hell. But there's no excuse that Josh Moore, Tariq Black, Jake Smith, even though he's doing a better job of it, Jordan Whittington, well, we haven't really seen him yet, but there's no explanation for why our guys cannot create separation. That's my concern with the offense. Third down play is key. Who can convert, who can stay on the field, and who can get the other offense off the field. Whoever's quarterback can come up with more plays will win. And as much as I hate to say it, I think that Iowa State and their game plan will make it easier on Brock Purdy for him to do what he needs to do in order for Iowa State's offense to be successful, more than Texas doing that with Sam. They're going to put too much pressure on Sam to have to try to be a Superman and save the game by himself, that it'll come back to bite us, unfortunately. And with that being said, sucks to say it on senior day, but at home, I believe Iowa State will win by the score of 30-24. It's going to be a close game. There's no doubt about it. When has Texas not played a close game? Yeah. I just think they'll make more plays than we do. Their defense is a little bit better than ours. But yeah, this is a big game in Tom Herman's career. preview. That's the preview right there, y'all. Tell me what y'all think about the game, who wins and why. What does Texas need to do to win the game? And yeah, I hate to say it, but I think Iowa State's gonna win. I have a gut feeling that they're gonna win, but let me know what y'all think. This is Jimmy from Just the Facts, and I'm signing out. Peace.